This is just a personal opinion, but sometimes I feel like men's fashion is really held back by some really outdated fashion rules. Not only are these rules old-fashioned, but they create a lot of confusion about what to wear, how to wear it, and when. And yet, I hear a lot of people say that these rules absolutely have to be followed if you want to look good. So today, I'm going to go through some of the most egregious ones in my eyes and offer a counterpoint as to why these rules don't necessarily need to be followed. And just to be clear, I'm not saying these rules are wrong either. I just don't think they need to be adhered to get a good looking outfit. Number 1, matching leathers. This has got to be the one I hear most often, especially in formal wear. I'd say 90% of men I've talked to are convinced you need to match the colour and style of the leathers in your outfit. Classic one is matching your leather shoes with your leather belt. And yes, I can understand why this would be a natural position to take. It gives you that uniformed, consistent and streamlined look. But sometimes it can look a little bit too well thought out and almost contrived, in my opinion. I feel the same way about matching your sneaker colour with your cap, for example. It can look too deliberate and a bit costumey. In my opinion, you can and should try mixing up the leathers in your outfit, whether that be belt, shoes, jacket, watch strap or gloves, especially if you have some unique leathers to show off. I've been loving the more decorative leather belts over the past few years, for example Western style belts with elaborate buckles and studded designs. I'll just chuck these on with any of the leather shoes I have in my wardrobe, and I don't think it looks out of place. Having different leathers really makes each piece pop and adds a bit more personality to an otherwise quite plain look. So just to be clear, I'm not saying that matching your leathers is right or wrong, I just don't think it's mandatory. Number 2, mixing metals. Here's another one I hear time and time again. Apparently you shouldn't mix the metals in your outfit. So your necklaces, bracelets, belt buckles and watches all need to either be all gold or all silver, but not a mixture. I think I can understand why a lot of people come to this conclusion, because matching your metals does give you that cohesive look. However, just like matching leathers, I feel like it can kill personal expression when you have to alter your outfits to follow an outdated fashion rule. Modern fashion is way more eclectic, and I think that mixing metals can give you a more layered look. It can add depth and interest and allows you to wear a mixture of items that might have sentimental value but don't necessarily match. This is what makes up your own unique and personal style, and it should be celebrated. Also, one of, if not the most stylish watch brands out there, Rolex, mix silver and gold all the time, and I've never heard anyone complaining about them. Number 3, the length of your trousers. I think the confusion around what length your trousers should be is at an all-time high at the moment, and I think that's because there's so many styles of trousers to choose from these days. But yeah, a lot of guys I've talked to seem to have it in their head that the length of their trousers needs to be no break and quite slim around the ankle. I'm not saying that's wrong, and I like to wear my trousers like that sometimes as well. However, I'd say pretty much any style and length of trousers is viable these days. All the way from a cropped length to a half break or even full break. And this can be in a slim, relaxed or even oversized cut. I'd say the only thing to be mindful of is styling them in a way that makes sense with the rest of the outfit. Also, it's far more important to ensure your trousers actually fit properly and as designed, rather than worrying about breaking any fashion rules. Properly fitting means they stay up without needing a belt and they fit as intended. This could be intentionally baggy or intentionally skinny. To sum up, I don't think there's any rules around what length your trousers need to be these days, as long as you feel comfortable and confident. Number 4, jeans and shoes. I'm not sure if jeans and shoes is just a British meme, you'll have to let me know down in the comments. But if you're unaware, it's pretty much an ancient meme now, harking back to the Tumblr days of 2012 or something. It's all about guys wearing usually baggy jeans with winkle picker style shoes. And it is quite funny, but I feel like it definitely put a lot of people off wearing smarter shoes with denim jeans. Well, I'm here to tell you that you definitely can, and in fact, sometimes I think a smarter pair of shoes with jeans can look better than with sneakers. It's all about wearing the right type of jeans with the right shape of shoes. I think the jeans and shoe meme was funny, firstly because of the culture. It was usually associated with older guys going to the pub to watch football or rugby with the idea of going clubbing later, but also the stark contrast of those pointy and unbelievably formal shiny shoes with baggy and ripped jeans. I've talked about the power of juxtaposition in fashion before, and when used correctly, it can be an absolute game changer. Loafers with some regular to relaxed jeans is the perfect amount of contrast in my opinion. You get that blend between smart and casual, but it's not too far-fetched. I've also seen it done really well with derbies, brogues, boat shoes, and monk straps. I think the common theme here is that all of these smarter shoes have a bit of chunkiness to them. This is what really allows them to be worn more casually, and I think they're a great way to add a bit of class to your more basic outfits. Number 5, dress your age. Dressing your age might be the most outdated fashion advice in this whole video. I find it so strange that people think when you hit a certain age, you should stop wearing the things you like. There seems to be an expectation of what older people should dress like, but I don't know where it's come from. Of course, everyone's personal style matures and evolves over time, and for some, that might mean wearing more plain and basic things, but that doesn't make it a rule. If you still love that band from your teenage years, then wear their merch. If you still love baggy jeans and sneakers, go for it. I don't think any of us need to fall into that older person stereotype as we age. I've actually found that as I get older, I experiment more because I care less and less about what other people think. So yeah, if you've been thinking recently about whether you need to dress your age, well, this video is your sign to say the answer is no. Number 6, big brands are the best. This one is a huge misconception and very outdated in my eyes. I think it can stem from a lot of people being quite unaware of how great smaller brands are these days. And that's no surprise, they don't have the marketing budget to compete with these huge brands. So we still see all the same fashion brand adverts everywhere, and a lot of us still believe that they're the best and only place to shop. But we're in a bit of a golden age of boutique brands who are producing insane quality clothing at very reasonable prices at the moment. You can get so much more value for your money, and usually the pieces you can get will have more of a story to tell than a mass-produced big brand item. And again, I'm not saying that big brands are bad. I certainly still buy from them when I think that they do the best version of an item that I want. It's just that for a lot of things, especially basics and essentials, you can find some absolute gems at smaller brands. The problem is discovering these brands in the first place. And I won't lie, that is the most difficult part of this. I've stumbled across certain brands purely by chance, just when scrolling through Instagram or watching somebody else's YouTube video. Best thing to do is when you see a brand or style you like, follow them on Instagram and like their photos. The algorithm will then start to show you similar brands and styles on your homepage. It's cleverer than you might think. If you're interacting with boutique brands, it'll often show you more boutique brands. Keep liking and following everything that catches your eye, and just make the algorithm work for you. Number 7, gender-specific clothing. If you've watched my channel for a while, you'll know that I always go on about the advantages of opening your mind up to gender-specific clothing. The idea of men's clothing being for men and women's clothing being for women is becoming quite outdated, and the gap between men's and women's clothing is slowly disappearing. Because a lot of us are starting to realise that we like each piece of clothing for what it is, how it fits us, and how confident we feel in it, not whether it's meant for us as a man or a woman. I'd say for jumpers and tops in particular, I'll look at the women's section just as much as the men's, because I like that they're cut a little shorter in length, which really suits my body type and style. There's also some other advantages as well. For example, women's clothing is often cheaper than men's. And because I'm broader than the average woman, I go for larger sizes which are usually always in stock or on sale as well. I've started to see a few places advertising clothes as unisex now, which is great because it normalizes the styling of traditionally gender-specific pieces. And in the end, this can only benefit us as the end user. Number 8, socks and sandals. I had to throw this one in as we're approaching summer. It got me thinking about how sickened some people are when they see socks and sandals paired together, but I think that's a really outdated take. It's actually come to a point where it's strange to see sandals or slip-ons without socks. I like to wear them both ways so I can see the advantages either end. Without socks, it's nice for the beach or swimming pool because you can slip them on and off and your feet can dry quickly. However, if you're walking around in them a lot, I find they're not the best because they can get sticky and uncomfortable. Enter the socks, which suddenly transform them into a great piece of casual wear which can be worn around the house or around town. Sometimes in hotter weather, full-on sneakers or shoes can feel a little too sweaty and claustrophobic, so adding socks to sandals gives you that slightly more secure fit to be able to walk around all day, with the added benefit of the airiness and comfort you get from the open design of the sandals. Well, that's what I think anyway. I'm sure this one will be controversial, so let me know what you guys think. Number 9, personal preference. I needed to add this one in at the end just to remind everyone that everything in fashion all comes down to personal preference. You may agree or disagree with all of my points in this video, and that's absolutely fine. At the end of the day, you should only wear what makes you feel confident and comfortable. simple. If that means sticking to certain fashion rules, then that's totally understandable. My main point of this video is to hopefully just give a bit of balance to the traditional rules and show that they don't necessarily need to be followed. But anyway, that's all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed it and hope you found it useful. As always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Ta-ra.